What I've got for you today is supposed to be an absolute banger of top-level StarCraft 2. It's time for a Terran versus Zerg, where we find ourselves on the map Waterfall. Okay, so spawning right here in the top right-hand corner, playing with the blue Zerg drones, we have Solar, and this opponent in the opposite corner with the red Terran SCVs. Requesting a quick little pause, we're looking at GuMiho's main command center. So, this match was recently played during DreamHack Atlanta. It was on my list of games to cast, and then I didn't cast it. I'm not entirely sure. I must have gotten distracted with other replay packs, and then I realized, wait a second, apparently this is one of the very best games from the entire tournament, so I decided to dig up my Atlanta replay pack to go ahead and have a look once again. Now, speaking of having a look, sorry, I'm way too curious. Go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think this is Solar typing Korean on a international keyboard. Options, gameplay. Aw. Alright, so I think GuMiho's settings may have been off somehow. Aw, that's actually kind of nice. Solar helping out his opponent here. Just to, I guess, set up everything accordingly. Sometimes when you play at a international tournament, the game may very well be set to English, right? Which is not what you're expecting. You can obviously change the language of the game as well, but then sometimes you have to re-download a huge portion of the game, and it, you know, can take a little bit of time, and sometimes you don't have set time. It gets a little bit confusing. Anyhow, Solar and GuMiho. I mean, do they really require any additional introduction? It's actually been a little bit since I've last casted a GuMiho game. GuMiho is one of my absolute favorite Terran players out there because he plays differently than everybody else, but still at a very high level. The thing about GuMiho, though, how do I put this nicely? GuMiho is very efficient and very strategic. What I'm trying to say is that GuMiho's actions per minute are quite a bit lower than if you compare it to, for example, a Bjorn or a Maru or a Clem or any of the other top-tier Terrans. GuMiho is just not as fast. And sometimes I think that is hindering him quite a bit in the late game. I mean, especially if you look at guys like, for example, Bjorn, right? Bjorn is all over the map. He will quite literally attack you at 3 different angles while macroing at home and then microing everything. Somehow. I don't know how he does it either. Bjorn is incredibly fast. Now, you know, he's also got a lot of wrist issues, so maybe those two things are connected. But GuMiho, yeah, he plays a little bit more slowly, right? He plays a little bit more of a bulldozer-esque style where he likes to make a lot of stuff and then eventually move through the center of the map. He goes for a lot of really fun timing attacks and just interesting build orders in general. Because of that, I really enjoy watching GuMiho because he plays the game, a little bit differently than everybody else, but still at a very high level. Solar, I mean, also not really someone who requires any additional introduction, but since I've been a little bit mean to GuMiho, I guess I'll be mean to Solar as well. Solar is consistently a top 5 Zerg, but never a top 3. Maybe not entirely fair, because he recently won the GSL Super Tournament, but for the longest time anyways, Solar has been a top 4, a round of 8 kind of guy. Which, again, is very impressive, very, very solid. He plays fun games of StarCraft 2, but he's been having a hard time when it comes to, like, separating himself from other Korean Zergs, like, for example, Dark and Rogue. And obviously, internationally, you have guys like Zero and Raynor that just simply have been a little bit more dominant. That being said, never count Solar out. He's very good at the game, and, I mean, like I said, recently he's been actually catching a second win. It's actually really good to see. Can he get a couple creep tumors? Like, that's what I'm talking about. If this was Clem would have sniped both of the creep tumors and still gotten out of there somehow. And it's just that little bit of speed. If you look at the actions per minute right here, I mean, obviously this is very inflated right now for Solar, because Solar definitely does not need 420 APM in order to make a bunch of drones and micro a couple queens. But yeah, it's something worth noting. GuMiho, in general, just a little bit slower. But we still love him, okay? We still love him for it. Anyways, we've got a triple CC opener here. He's decided to go for the 1-1-1. Now, word on the street has it that this, assuming I've got the correct replay, is a Terran Mech game. Now, I have not seen a game of Terran Mech in way too long. I'm a big fan of watching Terran Mech. It used to be very popular back in the day, and maybe with the upcoming Cyclone change, it will be a little bit more popular again in the future too, but Terran Mech in general, not played at the highest level of StarCraft 2, other than by GuMiho. So, if I've got the right replay, it should be putting down additional factories here momentarily. We'll see that here in just a second. You can also obviously open up with Battlecruiser Mech. That is another option. I actually kind of feel like you almost have to go Battlecruisers with Mech, but GuMiho has shown us that you don't absolutely have to. This is a little bit tricky. You need to get some sort of damage done. One of the problems with Mech is that if Zerg players figure out that you're, well, playing Terran Mech, right? They see exactly what you're doing. Say this Overlord scouts right now that there's additional factories coming up. Solar is gonna hold down the drone button until he's got like 100 of those bad boys. And at that point, yeah, good luck contesting him, because he can just trade so incredibly cost inefficiently. He can take the entire map if he wants to, and with your very slow and methodical, there it is by the way, with that very slow and methodical Terran Mech army, you just don't have the time to catch up. So GuMiho is likely going to settle for like 3 to 4 bases at most. And then, yeah, he will, well, not 3 bases at most. That would be a little bit much. But 4 bases is probably one of the best case scenarios. That means that the rest of all of these bases that are on the map, you know, they could be Solars. And if Solar manages to mine out half of them even, GuMiho is going to be in a little bit of trouble. It's not so much that the Terran Mech army is not strong enough, because it certainly is. It's just that it's difficult to continuously expand and, well, grab that map control. Anyhow, Armory, just about to finish up. I'm expecting a second one as well. Kind of interesting, actually, that we only have 1 Armory. It would allow him to go for single upgrades, of course, but... Are we going... Oh, yeah, we are. I didn't even want to say it out loud because it seemed so weird. Okay, so I think this is for Metavex and this is for Thor's. Although we do have to start up 2 Metavex here momentarily. I think GuMiho is going for a double Thor drop. That's the only reason why this upgrade timing here makes sense. That is actually kind of cool. Okay, so we have a double Thor drop coming out of GuMiho here. This is what I mean. This is such a weird way of playing a game. Nobody does a double Thor Hellion push. But, I mean, you can turn the Hellions into Hellbats. The Metavex can still heal up those Hellbats as well. Definitely not something to underestimate. What exactly does Solar have at this point? Well, Solar is going Hydraling Bane, which is something that he's very fond of. Going pretty quick Hydra then, that is nice, but unupgraded Hydras are gonna be pretty terrible. Okay, so how many links does he have? He's got 22 links right now, 14 more about to finish. There's Factory 4 and 5, by the way, on the back of this as well. Okay, let's see. So now he sees what he's going up against. That's a lot of queens. A couple of them are out in front, but good control here by the Zerg player, trying to keep as many of these units alive. Metavex, okay, one of them already gets sniped. Okay, he ends up losing to both of them. Hellbats, though, reinforcing ones do show up. But the Thors, I mean, it's a lot of damage taken on those bad boys, but they're still alive. Do you really want to keep pushing? I've got a feeling that the Thors need to go home, dude. Okay, apparently not. We're going deeper. Fair enough. Viking even decides to land here as well. This is actually working out really quite well. I thought initially that this push was held easy peasy, but then the reinforcement showed up. And now suddenly those drones are getting roasted. Get him. Get him. Sorry, I'm cheering for the Mech player, okay? What are you going to do about it? No, I want to see Mech be, you know, a style that is popular again in StarCraft 2. Just because it's like, you know, it's a lot of fun to watch, you know, Bio Terran, don't get me wrong. Really good stuff. But it's also fun to have variety, right? For a while there, we had like, I don't know, maybe 75% of the time we had Terran Bio, so an infantry-based army, and then the other 25% of the time we had Terran Mech. That was back when Battle Mech was really popular. So Battle Mech was like Hellion Cyclone into that slower mech. So that addressed the economical issue, where you would have a hard time maybe securing additional bases with that slow-moving Thor siege tank-based army, which is what Gumi is going for in this particular game. But you could at the very least, you know, contest your opponent with the expansions and whatnot playing Cyclone, so you could move around the map pretty quickly as well. So I'm secretly hoping that we're going to be seeing some more of that in the next balance patch. So they're changing the way that the Cyclone upgrade works. So we're not seeing any Cyclones in this game because they're pretty terrible. At least, you know, they haven't been changed or anything, at least not recently, but Zerg players have just gotten really good at playing against that Terran Battle Mech army. But with the next patch, the Cyclone is going to be a little bit better against everything, rather than just against armored, which should be pretty good. Let me just take a sip of water real quick, as we do have a drop in the main base. All right. Don't lose them, please. Thors have a lot of HP, don't they? Well, Not a lot anymore on that one, but... Oh, no, he loses one, doesn't he? Thor, Queen, Medevac. Okay. Very ambitious little push there. GuMiho is everywhere. Considering I'm describing this as the slow, mechanical way of playing StarCraft 2, GuMiho is everywhere. Pretty sick. So he's already securing a 4th command center, plus he's building it on location. That is interesting to me. I feel like with Terran Mech we never... Or 5th, did I say 4th or 5th? Anyway, he's got the 4th right over here at the bottom, and then a 5th CC right here at the 9 o'clock position. That is kind of sick. This early game has actually worked out way better for Gumi here than I thought. I haven't seen a mech game be this successful in a while. Now here's the problem though. Yeah. So, on the one hand, you have that very slow-moving army, and it's difficult to expand in the first place. On the other hand, you have to split your slow-moving units between all of the bases if you want to defend them. Right? So, with a bio army, you can move left and right all the time if you want to. But with a mech army, you preferably have your units already in the right position when the Zerg comes and attack you, right? It's difficult to... Oh, it's difficult to defend all of the outer bases here if you have to, well, spread your defenses between this base and the one all the way over here when you are very Siege Tank, Thor, Hellion, Liberator focused. It's not easily done, but GuMiho is making it work actually in this game so far. Solar doesn't actually have that big of an economy. I mean, sure, he's got 83 workers right now, and that's nice. He's lost a lot though. Yeah, 38 workers have gone down in this game. Interestingly enough, the Thors are showing up before the SCVs on this little tab. It's kind of funny to me. Anyhow. New command center was already produced earlier. The problem is, if Solar pokes in at the bottom of the map, shows just a handful of units, GuMiho is going to have to cycle units towards this base. He can then run all the way around and appear on the other side of the map before Terran even realizes it. And then, well, have all of his units on the other end of the map instead. It's really difficult to make that split. So maybe the trick is a single armory. Single armory is funny to me because those mech upgrades are incredible. But apparently, yeah, we're just going for one upgrade at a time. So +2 first for the attacks, and then +1 armor. So obviously with less upgrades, you're gonna get more units because you can spend your resources elsewhere. That is very interesting to me too. What in the world? We're just sieging 4 tanks up just like that? I'm a little bit afraid of Liberators, or sorry, not of Liberators, of Vipers. They're already out. I don't think Gumi has seen them just yet. Anyways, there's more siege tanks over here as well on the river on the other side. Ugh. Very expensive armies though are being traded out here. Yeah, so resource lost-wise, I mean, if you can create a split map scenario and you can mine out all of the bases, obviously this is amazing for Terran. Terran doesn't have photon cannons or, you know, shield batteries and all that, right? So it's difficult for them to rely on static defense only. But, I mean, planetary fortresses together with missile turrets and sensor towers and all that can still put in a lot of value. We're actually missing a sensor tower here, yeah. I was gonna say. Must have gotten destroyed earlier. Not a lot of anti-air available other than those queens, so Solar forced to back off once more. And since he did take that quick expansion at the 9 o'clock position, he can actually very easily run on over in this direction. One of the Thors will probably end up going down here. Medevac not picking it up in time. Yeah. Most of the Hellbats also get destroyed, but some get to evacuate on out of there. Push already on the right side of the map. My god. Gumi is actually playing really well here. This is sick. Ooh, GuMiho. Okay. GuMiho going for a fusion core right now with 2 additional starports. This has to be a battlecruiser transition, no? I mean, the only reason why it would go 2 additional starports is if you want to make tech labs. Otherwise, I think you could go double reactor. Like, you won't need... I mean, you don't need 6 Liberators at once, no? If we're going to see tech labs here, I mean, it could just be Liberator range. But I feel like if you go Liberator range, you would go 1 additional starport. Yeah, there it is. Okay, tech lab's coming up. GuMiho is going for a BC transition. There it is. Yamato gun coming up as well. Units are still all over the map. Hellbat drop in the main base. Hellbat drop on the left side of the map. Hatchery here got destroyed. Hellbats on the right side of the map too. We're treating the Hellions and Hellbats like they're Marines, and I mean, I guess they kind of are. They're 100 minerals each. They're not too expensive. How many have gone down? That's a lot of Hellions and Hellbats, actually. That is funny. Still efficient, though, if you look at the amount of Zerglings that have gone down. Although, maybe we need to take Medivacs into the equation as well. Okay. Looking at the minimap, I thought this was a structure wall-off, but no. This is not a structure wall-off. It's a funny one, though. Okay. Well, Battlecruisers are soon going to be operational. Solar, though, still actually in a pretty damn good position, though, considering the weirdness of this game so far and the way that he's been losing a lot of things. The problem right now for him, though, is that Terran has become his next-door neighbor in pretty much every area of the map. I mean, GuMiho can engage right here on the right side of the map. He can engage on the left side of the map, too. There are technically 7 bases on this map that you can acquire. However, these over here, pretty much impossible. That's never going to happen. Anyhow. If Gumi can mine 6 bases, I actually think that's enough. He needs 1 more. He needs 1 more right over here. Battlecruisers, though, soon coming out. Interesting. I thought he was going to switch this one over with a tech lab as well, but apparently not. There's another armory. Interesting. Probably for air weapons, I would imagine. So, has Solar... No. That's all you need to know. No, he has not seen the transition. So, luckily for him, he made a Spire. That Spire seemed like a reaction to the Battlecruisers, but not actually what's going on. I think this is him going for a Brute Lord transition instead, which is fair enough. Brute Lords are still going to be good, because that means he's making Corruptors, and he's going to need Corruptors too. I think GuMiho probably assumes he's been spotted by now, but actually, not the case. I wonder if he should be saving up the BCs. Although that being said, I mean, this hatchery is very low. Maybe he can kill some drones as well. They have the tactical jump available. Suddenly, the Battlecruisers show up. Very nice. What a sick build order right here from GuMiho. Very lovely. Great to see. Massive Zerg Swarm, though, still available. And keep in mind, Terran spread very thinly. There's units all over the left side of the map that are not part of this engagement here. Here comes the Swarm. Solar ready to take out another hatchery, or Terran hatchery. Right over there. BCs in the meantime, dealing a ton of damage. There should be 2 more BCs. Yeah, there they are. Corrosive Biles apparently connecting with the siege tanks, but the Battlecruisers are forcing this Zerg army to go back home, and apparently a new command center is ready to take the position of the mining base. Corruptors are available right now. Imagine if this would have not been a Greater Spire transition, though. Imagine if he would have just stuck around on what he already had. That would have been nuts. Because then these BCs would have shown up and there would have been absolutely no anti-air other than a bunch of queens. And last time I checked, is a handful of queens. It's not a great unit composition against 4 Battlecruisers. Solar moving forward once again. He's trying to mine this low ground expansion. Not very easily done, however. Did he ever... Yeah, I think he must have been upgrading out of the second armory as well. We haven't seen a lot of the armory research, but okay. This expansion is impossible. And now we have essentially a split map scenario. So now both players have the same amount of bases. Since the cost inefficiency here of Zerg is nowhere to be seen as far as the minerals go. This may actually be doable. That's sick. That's really cool. So, we've seen a lot of mass muta play against Terran Mech historically. And I wonder if that's the reason why I decided to go for a double Thor start. Because he could have gone 4 Thors, and when there's 4 Thors out with a bunch of Medivacs, it's really difficult to actually get a good trade in. Anyways, BCs here on the left side of the map. They're going to be able to make short work of that expansion. Easy peasy. Hellions once more on the right side of the map. 89 drones have gone down in this game. Tons of spine crawlers as well, by the way. Yeah, 9 spines here in total. It's more than we see in most games. Battlecruisers did not just die, did they? No. Okay, they teleported back to safety. Fair enough. Things are starting to look rather dire here for Solar now. Planetary Fortress here. I mean, he can keep making trades like this. But there's a bunch of command centers ready to replace this. Okay, he's forced to cancel these, but that is all okay. 5th expansion here is going to be taken care of very soon. Can he keep this one alive as well? Nope, not fast enough. He was going to jump that straight towards the main base. Okay, now very nice blinding clouds. Good hits here, actually, by the Zerg player, though. Sniping a lot of those expensive Terran units. This fight is not nearly as inefficient as some of the previous ones, as now he's overwhelming a lot of this. Battlecruisers, where are you guys? There's 5 BCs. Okay, they're once again moving on the left side of the map. Reinforcing Terran units are arriving in this location. Don't siege those up. Nicely done. There's a couple of Zerglings trickling across the map, but against a bunch of roaches, I think that those unsieged tanks are still going to be able to be dealing quite a bit of damage. Supply-wise, Solar is still okay. But this is going from bad to worse, because he's not addressing the Battlecruisers. They're just about to finish ship weapons level 2. That late game BC transition has actually done a ridiculous amount of damage already. And you can get a ton more value. Like, if you keep the tactical jump on off cooldown, right? You can just use it defensively anytime you like. We've really only seen BCs recently as a cheesy unit, where you rush it out as quickly as possible, or maybe like an anti-timing, right? We've seen a bunch of those. But they can always join here with the battle as well if they want to. I think it might be time, dude. Corruptors are over here. Go, 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 go! Oh. Alright, he does show up, but a little late. Well, that's gonna give him a little bit of an economy boost. So right now, Solar is still mining more. 6 Vikings, by the way, being built at once. Did he switch over here? No, he did not. Oh, he made more starports. Oh, I didn't even realize. 5 starports. Interesting. Anyways. Can we have a look at the income once again? Yeah. When those mules start returning their cargo, life is a little bit better. BCs are very important here. Vikings are joining in as well, but GG is called by Solar. And it's indeed Gumi who obtains the victory.